Dear students, in this video we shall come to know Ranga's visit to narrator's residence and their conversation about Ranga's marriage. Now let us read. That afternoon when I was resting, Ranga came to my house with a couple of oranges in his hand. A generous, considerate fellow. It would be a fine thing to have him marry, settle down, and be of service to society, I thought. The narrator here describes that the same afternoon when the narrator and the other persons had gone to Ranga's residence to see him, that afternoon Ranga came to the narrator's residence with a couple of oranges in his hands as a gift to the narrator. The narrator thought that Ranga was a generous, a kind, and thoughtful fellow, and he thought that it would be better for him to get Ranga married and settle him down for the service of society. The narrator thought so. For a while we talked about this and that, then I came to the point. Rangappa, when do you plan to get married? I am not going to get married now, he said. Why not? After having some conversation of here and there, the narrator came to the main point and asked Rangappa when he was going to get married, and the boy replied that he was not going to get married then. The narrator wanted to know the reason why he was not ready to get married. I need to find the right girl. I know an officer who got married only 6 months ago. He is about 30 and his wife is 25, I am told. They will be able to talk lovingly to each other. Let's say I married a very young girl. She may take my words spoken in love as words spoken in anger. Ratna told the narrator that he was searching for the right girl, he was searching for the right match, and he told the narrator that he knew an officer who had got married only 6 months before. He told the narrator that that officer was about 30 years old and his wife was 25, and since both of them were adults, they could understand the feelings of each other, they could understand the language of each other. While on the other hand, he said that if he got married with a young girl, she might take his words that might have been spoken in love, she might take those words in anger. Recently, a troupe in Bangalore staged the play Sakuntala. There is no question of Dushyant falling in love with Sakuntala if she were young, like the present day brides. Is there? What would have happened to Kalidasa's play? If one gets married, it should be to a girl who is mature, otherwise, one should remain a bachelor. That's why I am not marrying now. Ranga told the narrator that he had seen a troupe, a group of actors staging a play, Sakuntala, which has been written by the great poet Kalidas, the great Sanskrit poet Kalidas. And he said that if Sakuntala might have been young like the brides of that day when they were having conversations, how Dushyant could fall in love with Sakuntala? If there was any possibility for Dushyant falling in love with Sakuntala, and if Dushyant had not fallen in love with Sakuntala, how could Kalidas, the great Sanskrit poet, have written that epic, have written that play? It means Kalidas would not have written that play if Dushyant had not fallen in love with Sakuntala, and if Sakuntala was not mature enough, surely Dushyant would not have fallen in love with her. If one gets married, it should be to a girl who is mature, otherwise, one should remain a bachelor. That is why I am not marrying now. Ranga added that one should marry a girl who is mature enough, who can understand the feelings of other, and He said that for that very cause he was not going to marry then. Is there any other reason? The narrator asked if there was any other reason for declining his marriage. A man should marry a girl he admires. What we have now are arranged marriages. How can one admire a girl with milk stains on one side of her face and wetness on the other, or so young that she does not even know how to bite her fingers? The narrator asked Ranga if there was any other reason for declining the marriage, and Ranga told him that those were the arranged marriages were in person. Even today, the arranged marriages are in person, but now the people see the girl see the sees her fiance, both of them talk to one another. But those days it was not so, and so Ranga said that how it was possible in arranged marriage that a person could admire a girl whom he had never seen, and the girl having milk stains on one side of her face. Means he wants to say that the girls those days were young enough, so he did not want to marry a young girl. And now the narrator commented, one a neem fruit, the other a bitter gourd, which we say in Hindi, the same phrase we say in Hindi, एक तो करेला दूजे नीम चढ़ा. The same thing the narrator said, one a neem fruit, the other a bitter gourd. Exactly, Ranga said laughing. Ranga asserted that and he laughed. I was distressed that the boy who I thought would make a good husband had decided to remain a bachelor. The narrator says that he had been worried, he had been distressed that whom he had thought would become a good husband had decided to remain a bachelor. He had decided to remain an unmarried fellow. After chatting for a little longer, Ranga left. I made up my mind right then that I would get him married. They had some conversations for a sort of time, and then Ranga left the place, and the narrator decided that he would get Ranga married anyhow. He made up his mind for that. Rama Rao's niece, a pretty girl of 11, had come to stay with him. She was from a big town, so she knew how to play the veena and the harmonium. The narrator says that Ranga Rao's pretty niece had come to his residence, and she had come from a big town, so she knew how to play on the veena and the harmonium. She also had a sweet voice. Both her parents had died. The narrator says that she was an orphan. The reason behind it was that both of her parents had died, but she knew how to play on the veena and the harmonium, and she sang melodiously. And her uncle had brought her home. Ranga was just the boy for her, and she the most suitable bride for him. The narrator decided that Ranga might be a perfect match for that girl, and she would become the most perfect bride for him. Since I was a frequent visitor to Ramarao's place, the girl was quite free with me. I completely forgot to mention her name. Ratna, it was. The very next morning, I went to their house and told Ramarao's wife, I will send some buttermilk for you. Ask Ratna to fetch it. The narrator says that he was a frequent visitor to Ramarao's house. As he had forgotten to mention the name of that girl, the name of that girl was Ratna. The following morning, the narrator visited Ramarao's house and asked Ramarao's wife that he wanted to send some whey or buttermilk for them, and he urged her to send Ratna to fetch that. The incidents remaining in the next video.